On January the 8th, 2020, a meeting summarizing a campaign themed "Staying True to Our Founding Mission" begins in Beijing. It's a vivid illustration of the deepening of self-reform within the Communist Party of China in the new era, and the promotion of full and strict governance over the party.
强大的政党是在自我革命中锻造出来的。回顾党的历史，我们党总是在推动社会革命的同时，勇于推动自我革命。
Xi Jinping said during a study trip to Xibaipo in July 2013, when the CPC Central Committee left Xibaipo in 1949, Mao Zedong compared it to taking the imperial exam in the ancient imperial capital. We have come a long way since the 6 decades ever since. The Chinese people have stood up and become rich, but we are still facing severe and complex challenges and issues. The party's examination is far from over. In the wake of the 18th CPC National Congress, the CPC Central Committee added strictly and comprehensively governing the Communist Party to the Four Comprehensives strategy. It was to ensure that the party's political work is stressed, ideology is strengthened, organizations are consolidated, conduct is improved, and discipline is maintained. Meanwhile, its institutional development is always emphasized, and the fight against corruption keeps going. The CPC's image is being reshaped, its spirits strengthened, its body re-energized, its strength garnered. It is the people who experience CPC conduct most directly and who bear the brunt of any misconduct. So, on December the 4th, 2012, Xi Jinping presided over a meeting of the Political Bureau of the CPC Central Committee. The meeting deliberated and adopted an 8-point code to cut bureaucracy and maintain close ties with the people.
各级领导干部要以身作则，率先垂范，说到的就要做到，承诺的就要兑现。中央政治局同志从我本人做起。哎，老王，看望你了，高血压现在还高吗？
昨天在县里量180。
给你们拜年啊！可以，这有褶了，你们。
也是犄角的手术也是。
我也会那个犄角。共产党的追求啊，就是让老百姓的生活啊越来越好。对，这样我相信。
Leading by example, General Secretary Xi Jinping has gone into ordinary households all over the country, from remote mountain areas to factories and workshops, fields and frontier outposts. Xi Jinping's footprints are to be found everywhere. Such is his determination to roll up his sleeves and experience the reality of people's lives and the impact of policies firsthand. His diligence and down-to-earth style have won him the applause of the people. The whole party has been mobilized to fully implement the 8-point code by reducing expenditure on government vehicle purchase and use, overseas trips and official receptions, collectively known as the 3 public expenses. The rectification campaign cracks down on lavish feasting, abuse of official cars, and indulgence in luxurious clubs. It resolutely eradicates formalism and bureaucracy within the party nationwide. Ningdu County was rated as one of Jiangxi Province's 24 national-level underdeveloped counties. In June 2018, local residents were asked unexpectedly to plant trees.
当时有蛮多人不愿意种这个树嘞，劳民伤财的，大部分都全部没有了，是吧？死掉了。
The person who assigned this task was Wang Sehua, then party secretary of the Ningdu County.
为了给领导留下个好印象，也没有考虑到说树倒是成活的问题。
As Ningdu County's top official, Wang Sehua did not hold a single meeting on poverty alleviation between April 2017 and June 2018. It wasn't until assessment time was approaching that he remembered his duties. Wang's attempt to deceive was easily identified. In July 2018, an investigation found that, in addition to his tendencies towards formalism and bureaucracy, Wang Sehua had abused his power and accepted huge bribes. He was dismissed and punished according to the law. Formalism and bureaucracy in China stems from indifference to people's needs and the CPC's purpose. Starting with conduct rectification, the 8-point code hits the nail on the head for the party's management and revamp. Since then, a huge change has taken place, with all party members conducting themselves in a respectable way.
"全党要以自我革命的政治勇气，着力解决党自身存在的突出问题，不断增强党自我净化、自我完善、自我革新、自我提高能力，经受4大考验，克服4种危险，确保党始终成为中国特色社会主义事业的坚强领导核心。"
Even in a range of thousands of majestic mountains, there's only one main peak. In October 2016, the 6th plenary session of the 18th CPC Central Committee formally made Xi Jinping the core of the CPC Central Committee and the entire party. The decision was in line with the expectation of all Chinese people and the fundamental interests of the CPC and China. To advance the cause of the CPC and the people in the long run, it stressed that the 4 consciousnesses, 4-sphere confidence, and 2 upholds should be adhered to. A political perspective should be adopted, the big political picture should be kept in mind, and the ability to judge and understand political issues and implement political requirements should be improved continuously. The Qinling Mountains are the geographical demarcation between the north and the south of China. They also form a natural protective barrier for the vast floodplain to the north. For some time, personal villas were being built illegally on the northern foothills of the Qinling Mountains. In addition to turning national parks into private properties, they also deeply damaged the environment and the CPC's reputation. It was a situation that had to be addressed. But despite repeated central government demands for rectification, despite even Xi Jinping's written instructions, local government organs were content to muddle through.
他们有些已经开始拆除，这个咱不说这些。
Officials were going through the motions. There was little meaningful action.
总书记要求从政治纪律查起，抓住了问题的要害。违建别墅的发生和演变，最重要的原因
对有关党组织的政治建设缺失缺位、软弱无力，有关领导干部对政治纪律缺乏敬畏，政治规矩意识淡薄。
The central government took decisive measures and sent a special working group to carry out a thorough rectification. A total of 1,194 villas were found illegally built at the northern foothills of the Qinling Mountains. 1,185 were demolished and 9 confiscated according to law. A number of CPC officials were investigated for violating the law and discipline in connection with the illegal construction of private villas. The illegally built villas were demolished by the rumbling excavators. This won the applause of the people. Corruption is a cancer of society and the biggest threat to a ruling party. The CPC Central Committee, with Xi Jinping at its core, has waged the toughest anti-corruption campaign in history. Such is the party's will to achieve self-reform with an all-out, self-inflicting anti-corruption drive. On the evening of July 29, 2014, Xinhua News Agency released a piece of news that caused a stir at home and abroad. Zhou Yongkang, former member of the Standing Committee of the CPC Central Committee Political Bureau, was under investigation for serious violations of party discipline. Zhou Yongkang, Bo Shelai, Guo Boxiong, Xu Zaihou, Sun Zhongzai, Ling Zhihua and Su Rong, among the senior CPC officials brought to book for serious violations of party discipline and law. From the 18th CPC National Congress to the end of 2020, a total of 309,000 cases related to hedonism and extravagance were investigated and tackled. From the 19th CPC National Congress to the end of 2020, 199,300 cases related to formalism and bureaucracy were investigated and tackled. The CPC has declared to the world its intent to rid the country of toxic corruption. Whoever violates party discipline and law will be investigated and severely punished regardless of position and rank. The CPC will never give up combating corruption, never stop pursuing fugitives and recovering stolen assets, never allow a corrupt person to go unpunished. The reach of China's anti-corruption network even extends beyond its borders to criminals who fled overseas. Whether it's going to take 5, 10 or 20 years, they will be hunted down. Walking away scot-free is not an option. From 2014 to 2020, China's global anti-corruption manhunt, Operation Skynet, deported 8,663 fugitives from more than 120 countries and regions. Among them, there were 2,268 CPC members and government officials, 360 Chinese Red Notice fugitives, and 60 on the Red Notice list of 100 most wanted Chinese fugitives. A total of 21.531 billion yuan of illicit money was recovered. The CPC Central Committee has maintained its iron-fisted attitude to combating corruption. Officials suspected of corruption and other crimes, no matter how high and low being their positions, how far and deep they hide, have been netted. The result has been a decisive victory and the CPC's plan for strict party governance a total success. Nothing can be accomplished without norms and standards. The Communist Party of China requires all branches and members to abide by its rules and accept its discipline.
严明党的纪律，首要的 就是严明政治纪律。党的纪律是多方面的，但政治纪律是最重要的、最根本的、最关键的纪律。
To consolidate and carry forward the regular achievements of enforcing discipline, efforts should be made to build systems, formulate regulations, and ensure implementation. One of the important reasons that the Communist Party of China has been able to continue to grow in the face of difficulties and hardships is that it continues to highly value being well grounded in both thinking and theory. At the 19th CPC National Congress, Xi Jinping thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era was established as a guiding theory. It was written into the CPC's constitution, and the party will adhere to it for a long time to come.
在全党开展党史学习教育，是推进党的自我革命、永葆党的生机活力的必然要求。
A series of events of study and practice programs have been initiated. Chinese communists are systematically receiving party history education to understand why the CPC could and will go from victory to victory. They are expected to carry on the mission further. A stretch of the snow-covered border between Pakistan and China is patrolled by a Tajik Chinese named Lachini Baika. In 2003, he was discharged and returned to his hometown, but his patriotic service wasn't over. He became a volunteer border guard. That year, Lachini Baika joined the CPC. Following in the footsteps of his grandfather and father, Lachini Baika has patrolled the border in the Pamirs more than 700 times, racking up some 30,000 kilometers in total. This is how one family fulfills its oath, never flinching from taking up challenging tasks and selflessly serving the people. On January the 4th, 2021, when Lachini Baika and his classmates passed a frozen lake at Kashgar University, they spotted a child who'd fallen into an ice hole while playing on the lake. On seeing this, Lachini dived into the icy lake to perform a rescue. By the time the rescuers arrived, Lachini, who had been holding the child for more than 10 minutes, sank to the bottom of the lake due to exhaustion. His life had come to an end, aged just 41.
I 其实并不理解什么是英雄，直到爸爸干了这个事情，我才知道，英雄是像爸爸这种的人才是英雄。爸爸，你是我心中的英雄，你是我唯一的英雄。
It's the millions of Chinese communists like Lachini working on the front line, fearlessly sacrificing, that unite the nation as one in the fight for the new era.
党的力量来自组织，党的全面领导，党的全部功能要靠党的坚强组织体系去实现。
CPC organizations at all levels all over the country are urged to conscientiously implement the CPC's organizational line for the new era, strengthen the organizational system, and enhance their ability to lead politically, guide through theory, organize the people, and inspire society. Actually changing yourself is much harder than just asking others to change. To achieve full and strict governance over the party, for the sake of its long-term viability as a governing party, the CPC must find an effective way to purify itself. So, for the sake of long-term national stability, the CPC is resolutely committed to full and strict governance over the party. It is determined to improve supervision systems for both itself and the country as a whole. The CCDI and NSC received a visitor from Shijia Zhuang on July 10, 2018. He was Ai Wenli, former vice chairman of the Hebei Provincial Committee of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference. He had come to turn himself in to the Supervisory Department, the first cadre registered by the Organization Department of the CPC Central Committee to surrender himself since the supervisory system reform started.
带来了3个箱子，这些物品呢都是他过去收受的一些涉案款物和其他的礼品礼金。
要相信组织，要主动的投案自首。
Since the 19th CPC National Congress, reforms have been implemented in the CPC's discipline inspection system, the NSC and CCDI as a whole. Surveillance has extended oversight over CPC members and officials to all civil servants exercising public power. In October 2018, the General Office of the CPC Central Committee issued a directive on deepening reforms of accredited agencies of the CCDI and NSC. The CCDI and NSC have jointly accredited 46 discipline inspection and supervision teams to oversee 129 central-level party and state organs, increasing the full coverage and effectiveness of supervision. Besides, the CPC Central Committee has turned inspection tours into an effective strategic institutional tool for strengthening intra-party supervision. Its deterrent power and effectiveness enhanced, the socialist supervision system with Chinese characteristics is being amply demonstrated.
同志你好，这里是中央第11巡视组。同志，你有什么问题需要反映？
The 18th Party Central Committee organized 12 rounds of inspection tours, including inspection of CPC organizations in 277 regional party organizations. For the first time in its history, the CPC achieved full coverage of central inspection tours during a single term of central leadership office. It was from inspection tours that the 18th CCDI gained more than 60% of its clues, leading to cases under its investigation. Strict governance over the party depends on the soft methods like education as well as hard enforcement. The two should be applied in tandem. Since the 18th CPC National Congress, the CPC Central Committee has adhered to full and strict governance over the party and ruling the party by regulations. It is committed to improving itself through formulating rules and regulations. Over 190 ones have been formulated and revised. A system of rules and regulations within the CPC has largely been established, and, on the whole, there are ordinances to follow. The CPC has identified entrenched internal problems and is dealing with them. Serious internal diseases have been cured and serious political risks have been diffused. As a result, the improvements in the CPC's political environment and its relationship with the people are apparent for all to see. The party is stronger than ever. self-reform is one of the CPC's most distinctive political characteristics. It contains the secret code that accounts for its continual progress, a key reason why, over the past century, the CPC, hard and firm to carry out thorough and revolutionary self-reform, has shown such vigor and vitality.
从长夜到日出，走过千山万水的路，每一步都是信仰足迹，烙印下新中国版图，从贫弱到富强，走出复兴，为业征途，每一天都有奋斗牺牲，只为人民拥抱幸福，凭着心中坚定信念，敢叫日月换新天，雄关漫道，风雨无阻，汇聚起中华儿女同向前。从贫弱到富强，走出复兴，为业征途，每一天都有奋斗牺牲。